Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Gina. Today I'm using watercolor paper. It's 250 GSM, so I'm excited about that. And I, again, I wanted to use acrylic paint, but I thought, let me try the Windsor. I bought the primary colors to try them to see how they work because they're supposed to be much better quality, light fastness, but, and all of that jazz. My name is Gina, by the way. Welcome to my channel, and I hope you enjoy this video. I am participating in 100 days of creating, and for this set, I thought I would do something different. So I'm starting with my paper stencil, which I just traced out an outline of a person, and I cut them out, and I'm just using the paper. And I'm just going to put them all over. So today I'm doing two sets. I'm doing this lady in the background. Honestly, as usual, I just wasn't sure what I was going to do after this step, but I knew that I wanted to use the stencils, and so I'm using it. And instead of doing a background, then adding the stencil, I decide, at least the stencil person, I thought, let me use the stencil person to start with. So that was actually new for me. I think it's fun for us to try new things, even if it's similar to what we do, but we just reverse the steps. It makes a difference. It really, really does make a difference. So I'm filling in the white spaces by just stamping, and now I'm going to add a washed out color. Again, I'm keeping it simple. For this one, I thought I would just use one color. I'm just using red, and I'm still working on my value scale in a way by adding tints and shades. So I'm just using the initial color, and then I'm adding white to it, and in other instances I'm adding black to see what my colors look like. So here, this is me getting ready to do what I wasn't sure of, and then I wasn't sure for a while, and then I thought, okay, let me try something different. So what I kept hearing in my mind was blocks of color, but I wasn't sure how to go about it. So I just got a bigger paintbrush and I started to just paint on the page, and I just decided to do shapes. My mind was saying, but you're going to cover up all the background that you just did. But that's okay. That's okay. While I'm doing this, I'm also testing the Windsor paints because I don't use them. I did invest in them some time ago. So what I would do, because they're pretty expensive, I know it's not the most expensive good quality paints, but for me they are costly. So what I would do is buy maybe a tube or two a month, and then another month, some other month, I'll buy another set. So I had them there, and because they're costly, we don't want to use it because they're costly, and I didn't, yeah, I was kind of hoarding them and afraid to use them but if I don't use them, I'm not going to know how they work, and I'm not going to know if I like it. Because even though they're supposed to be better quality and a good, good paints, it doesn't mean that I'm going to like working with them. So I think it's important for us to try what we have. Use what we have. Use the good stuff. Use the not so good stuff. But use the good stuff. Other than that, we're not going to know if we like it and how we want to use it, you know? So I am adding water to some of this. I'm adding black to some of this. I don't think I added white, but I'm still deciding if I like this paint. I don't know if it's because I've gone years of using the cheaper paints. What is it that I use? I use I use the much cheaper paints, but I like them. I use Deco Art and acrylic and Marie's, you know, and they're nice. I actually really enjoy them. The only thing I don't like about them too much is that they're kind of chalky, pasty looking. They're not, I don't know, I feel like when there's a little, even just a little gloss, it feels more expensive. I know that's silly, but yeah, that's how my brain thinks. But with this, I did enjoy the transparency of it a bit, and because I found that it's actually not very opaque. It's not very opaque paints, and I like the transparency of it, especially for this project. So I still see some of the people in the background, which is cool. Um, I wasn't sure what to do after doing these curves and circles. Some of them I filled in the shape, some of them I left them open, like for example with this that I'm doing. And I'm just enjoying and experimenting and getting my desires out, because sometimes I just have a craving to paint and make stuff, and that's what I do. So I'm gonna put that aside to dry, and for this next set, I thought I would use blue. Again, I'm just using the one color, and I'm going to use the stencil again, but this time I thought that I would just use the outline of it, because no, it's actually a mask. It's not a stencil. My bad. So because I did not have the stencil and I just had the mask, I thought I would just use the outline, and I knew that I wanted to cover the page. So this is what I'm attempting to do. And I was thinking, because she's so giant, there's only so much page I could cover with her vertically. So then I decided, okay, let's do her sideways. I know it's gonna look weird, but let's do that. And then I thought, I really want to see these marks when I start adding paint to it. So I brought out my marker, and I'm going to just outline them. And when I started doing it, I decided that I'm not going to do the whole thing like I did it in pencil. So I'm going to leave the gaps so she will overlay herself as many times as she can. So I'm just going to draw these out, try to stick to the correct overlaying process, and not make her look weird by overlaying herself incorrectly. So in other words, I wanted to leave the right gaps in the right places. The last two on the end, I mean, it kind of turned out really weird because they kind of melted into each other. But, I mean, I left it as is. It is what it is. And I thought, okay, what do we do next? So I thought I would do this one differently. And I would use this page to work on my value scale, which didn't turn out too well. And it made me think, I think I want to do this over again, but better. Because there wasn't much difference in values. Yeah. So it was I really, really enjoyed it was very relaxing to do this page, and frustrating too, because I couldn't seem to get the deeper scale as deep as I wanted it. And again, it's because, well, for me, I find that these paints are quite opaque. No, transparent, sorry. And I had to, yeah, I didn't, some paints you put it on one brush and it just covers the entire space. Yeah, with this, no. I had to do some layers, and then I had to angle the brush in a kind of way so that you don't see all the marks that it's leaving. The brush strokes. Yeah, so they're not thick, for sure. I thought they would have been, but no. But they aren't, I think this is student grade. It says Galleria acrylic, so I don't think it's the professional quality, which might be, I don't know if anybody has the professional winter. Maybe you could let me know in the comments. Maybe they are thicker than these, but yeah. But it's nice though. It's nice. It's cool to try new things, new quality, new types of products, the same thing but different brands. It's cool to try different brands of the same thing. So you see, my variation in value scale is not not the best. I really struggled with that, to be honest. So I would like to try it again. I'm not sure what shapes I'm going to use for the next one, but I mean, doing this one was actually pretty cool, and I actually kind of like the simplicity of it. So I'm looking forward to doing it again. And I think because I was trying to get a certain shade, they kind of all came out almost the same. So where I was trying to get one of them to be darker, it ended up being too close to another one. And before I knew it, all of them were dark or mid-range. So that part was kind of frustrating for me. I guess I should have just dried them and, the ones that I wanted darker, add another layer. And then for some others, add some black, and some others just leave it a little more washed out. But see, these two were supposed to be two different shades and they look almost the same. So it was kind of and right. So now I'm trying to deepen this one below because it's supposed to be darker than the one on top. And therefore it's starting to look like the one on the left, which is very similar to the one on the far left. So yeah, I kind of did that to myself there a lot. I only got one of them, which is, I believe, is this one that was really light. And then I was thinking, oh, I should have done that with the, at least there should have been at least two lighter ones. But, and then I kept forgetting that certain parts continued below and certain parts continued on top. So I had to try and get the same shade that I did on top. So yeah. I mean, when you try new things, you learn, you make mistakes, and you learn, and then hopefully you get better next time. So it was interesting. And then I decided when I finished the woman that I didn't want to do much of anything else. I wanted to keep them pretty simple. So I'm just adding a wash of the blue on the background so it's not stark white. And then I wanted to add a little detail to them, but like I said, I wanted to keep this set simple. These two pieces. So I'm just going to, I'm trying to darken this one to give it a deeper value on the scale. But it was really difficult. And then it just started to look like the others in the middle. Kind of frustrating. And I knew I was going to cut them up so they wouldn't be all together, but I really wanted a bigger difference. So I think I will try, definitely will do this exercise over again. If you could recommend a shape that I could use, that would be cool. And I'll see if I could do it. I enjoyed doing the woman. So let me know. Let me know what you'd like to see me do. What other shape you'd like to see me do while I try to get the value scale, in a wider variety, a bigger difference. So you can see bigger differences. That would be cool. I'll check to see what stencils I have too. I suppose using a bigger shape would be easier than a more intricate one. Because I was thinking of leaves, like, branch, I guess a branch, which has several leaves. But then I thought that would be a lot of painting, extra painting. Because, it depends on how much leaves you have on your branch. You know what I mean? So yeah. Oh, I could do stars. That could be tricky because it's quite pointy. There are lots of points. So I don't know. I'll see. Or I would love to hear your suggestions. Oh, you see, I got that one nice and dark. So yeah, that's cool. And now I'm going to just give them a little outline or an inline because they're inside. Inline, inside, yeah. And I actually really, really love these a lot. They were different from my usual and I really enjoyed making these. And I'm using, it's not stark white, it's just a much lighter blue. Again, working with the value scale. So it's still practicing the value scale, and I'm using it to contrast the blues. And yeah, I really enjoyed this piece. Let me know what you think, if you like. So I'm just going to go around with all of them, and then I'll cut them up and we'll see what they look like, which I was so excited about. I was really excited to see what they would look like when we cut them up. Who will end up with who, you know? So I'll see you when they get cut up. Alright, so now it's time to cut. Here I was trying to decide if I wanted to do anything else with it, but I thought I'm just gonna leave it. I'm trying my best to keep these simple. So I'm cutting them up to see. Also, when I flip them over, I was just checking to see if I wanted to do anything else with them. Because, you know, sometimes when I separate them, I think, oh, I could actually add X, so I could do this on this piece, you know. Because when you cut it, it becomes a whole new piece, and I see it differently. So I love these so much. I do. They all are so similar and different, but I love them. I love the reds. Okay, let's go with the blues. I do love the blues. This look like sisters. I love this one. I love them all. I forgot to do the inner line in that one. But no, it's like, because it's like each one has their own personality. You know what I mean? Very, very cool. I love them. And then these, I love that they have the people kind of peeping through the back. They're in the background. And there's a lot going on to the front. Like this one, you could see it to the left. I really love them. Okay, I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave your comments. Bye!